Real ways Carmelo Anthony is better than LeBron. Carmelo Anthony and LeBron James are both two of the many standout players from the 2003 NBA draft class. Throughout both of their lengthy careers in the league, they have become very close friends, and even go on yearly vacations together with their families. It was on one of these vacations that Anthony almost lost his life and drowned while at sea with the Banana Boat crew. Seeing Melo in the water, LeBron sprung into action and had to swim him back to the boat that they were staying on. Despite their close friendship and bond that they will have for the rest of their lives, there is always a bit of rivalry whenever LeBron and Carmelo take the court against each other. With them both playing the small forward position, they have been forced to guard each other on many occasions, and when they are facing off against each other, it is clear to see that the friendship fades, and they become fierce competitors. In the spirit of that competition, we will be comparing the two in their careers. However, when looking at LeBron James as one of the best players to ever touch a basketball, along with having one of the most decorated careers and having a much more extended prime than Melo, it would be a very one-sided debate, as LeBron has beat Carmelo in every major award and every major statistical category in the game, besides three-point percentage and free throw percentage. Instead, we'll be looking at some of the real ways that Carmelo Anthony is better than LeBron James. Scoring. The first facet of basketball where Carmelo excels over LeBron is scoring. Carmelo is a much more versatile scorer than LeBron. Along with this, in his prime, Melo did a much better job of spreading the floor due to his ability to score from almost anywhere on the court, unlike LeBron, who mainly scores much closer to the basket. Also, in his prime, Melo was one of the most unguardable players in the league, while players like LeBron, Kobe Bryant, and Tracy McGrady were in the league. While LeBron is a much more efficient scorer and also carries the role of facilitator with him on offense, while Melo was in his prime, and even in flashes today with the Blazers, when he catches fire, he becomes an automatic scoring machine from almost anywhere on the court. To further touch on this point, Carmelo has a higher single-game scoring career high than LeBron, despite it only being 62 points compared to LeBron's career high of 61 points. While there is a case to be made as to why Melo is a better scorer than LeBron, especially when Melo was in his prime, a LeBron fan could easily tear apart this argument. LeBron averages a higher points per game over his career, along with being in the top 5 in all-time scoring. Along with this, LeBron has achieved all of this while still being known as a pass-first player. If he were to focus on purely scoring the basketball, he himself said that he could lead the league in scoring every single year if that was what he focused on instead of facilitating in the offense and getting the ball to his teammates to keep them involved in the offense and making them more motivated on defense. Shooting. The next way Carmelo Anthony is better than LeBron James is his shooting ability. As previously touched on, Carmelo is a better shooter than LeBron. Melo was not blessed with the build that LeBron has, and as a result of this, has to have much more finesse and shooting in his game, as opposed to LeBron, who is built like a freight train, and against almost any defender, can simply go through them or bully them to the rim, and take a closer shot, not needing to rely on a jump shot for the majority of his career. As previously mentioned, Carmelo has a better career percentage from both the free throw line and the three-point line than LeBron. Looking at those numbers alone, it shows that he is a better shooter. However, looking deeper into it, Carmelo was one of the best shooters from mid-range in the 2000s, a decade where, for the most part, LeBron was still trying to find his jump shot, and relying mostly on his physicality to make him one of the highest scoring players in the league. There are few players who would try to argue on the point that throughout the duration of both of their careers, that Carmelo was and is still a better shooter than LeBron. Carmelo has never put himself in a winning situation during his prime. The next point to try to help his case in a debate against the basketball legend that is LeBron James is that Melo never was put himself in a situation to win during his prime like LeBron did. This point could be refuted, as even with the team that drafted him, the Cleveland Cavaliers, LeBron still found a way to bring one of the worst rosters in finals history to the NBA Finals in 2007. Along with this, during his time with the team that drafted him, Melo had the pleasure of playing with the likes of Allen Iverson and Chauncey Billups, while LeBron's best teammates during his run with the Cavs were Mo Williams, Shaquille O'Neal well past his prime, and Ben Wallace, who is also well past his prime. However, if Carmelo would have been selected with the second overall pick rather than the third, he would have found himself playing for the Detroit Pistons rather than the Denver Nuggets. This could have changed the whole trajectory of Melo's career, because that same Pistons team went on to win the NBA Finals against Kobe, Shaq, and the Los Angeles Lakers. If Melo had been on that team, it would not be a stretch to say that the Pistons still would have upset the Lakers in the finals, and with the team having a young star in Melo around, they would have had more of a reason to keep their aging but still championship caliber core around. It could have been possible that Anthony would have been at least a 2-time champion before LeBron even got a chance to play in a finals series. This could have definitely changed the trajectories of both LeBron and Melo's careers, as well as NBA history as we know it. The next instance of Melo not being in a winning situation comes in his free agency decision to sign with the New York Knicks. Rather than going to a contender, joining up with other superstars and forming a super team, or joining a team with a good young core and a lot of potential. Rather than going with any of these options, Melo decided to sign with the dumpster fire of a franchise that is the New York Knicks, which would eventually end up teaming him up with Tyson Chandler and Amari Stoudemire as his running mates in a big three. His decision to sign with the Knicks was clearly based on the market size of New York, combined with the money and ability to grow his personal brand in a city like New York. Compare this to James, who made his decision based on what would bring him the most basketball success. This decision would result in him landing in South Beach to play for the Miami Heat with the likes of Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh. Despite the decision resulting in LeBron being one of the most hated players in the entire NBA from the minute he made the decision to the moment that he decided to leave the Heat and return to his hometown team and the team that drafted him in the Cleveland Cavaliers, he would win 2 NBA championships with the Heat. In his own words, the decision was a 4-year trip that taught him how to win, and how to properly lead a team in some of the biggest moments. Even in the final stages of their careers, Melo has bounced from team to team in the hopes of finding a final ring before he retires. First on the Oklahoma City Thunder with Paul George and Russell Westbrook, before being shipped off to the Houston Rockets with Chris Paul and James Harden. And now on the Portland Trail Blazers with Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum. With Melo still wanting to be in a crucial role on any team he is on, rather than agreeing to a deeper bench role, he has been stuck bouncing from team to team that has hopes of a deep playoff run, but never on a team with a realistic chance of making and winning the finals. Today, LeBron is still the best player on the best team in the Western Conference. He has used his influence to land Anthony Davis, one of the best young big men in the league. Davis is on his team to play the Robin to LeBron's Batman, and they have proved themselves as one of the best duos on one of the best teams in the NBA. Time after time in their careers, Melo has put his pride and marketing opportunities over basketball success, unlike LeBron. If they both had the same mindset of basketball success first, it is possible that Melo could be tied with, or even have more rings over the length of his career than LeBron. Carmelo Anthony may have been better than LeBron James in their rookie years. The next point further shows the potential that Melo had early in his career, and that he may have a case for winning a major NBA award over LeBron. That award is Rookie of the Year. This was one of the toughest years to win the award, with players like LeBron James, Carmelo Anthony, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh having very quality rookie years. However, the race went down to a neck and neck between James and Anthony, and as we all know, James would end up winning the award. However, there is a very good case as to why Melo should have won. When looking at the straight-up stats, it is clear that LeBron had the better year. However, when taking into account that LeBron played more minutes than Melo, it is only fair that we look at their per 36-minute stats, which makes the case for Melo to win the award even stronger. In their rookie year per 36-minute stats, LeBron James averaged 19.1 points per game, 5.4 assists, 5 rebounds, 1.5 steals, and 0.7 blocks, on 41.7% from the field, 29% from 3, and 75.4% from the free throw line. He also carried the Cavaliers to a 35-47 record, which was short of the playoffs, but to James's credit, he did lead the Cavs to 18 more wins than they had in the previous year without him. In comparison, Melo had per 36-minute averages of 20.7 points per game, 2.7 assists, 6 rebounds, 1.2 steals, and 0.7 blocks on 42.6% from the field, 32.2% from 3, and 77.7% from the free throw line. Melo led the Nuggets to a record of 43-39, which was good enough for the 8th seed in a very tough Western Conference, where they were eliminated in the first round of the playoffs by the first-seeded Minnesota Timberwolves. The Nuggets improved by 27 games with the addition of Carmelo Anthony. Looking at their adjusted stats, along with the overall impact to their team record-wise, it would not be too far out there to think that Melo should have won the Rookie of the Year award over LeBron. However, it is also true that LeBron was on a much worse team that allowed for opposing teams to focus much more on him defensively. It made it much tougher for him to maintain the number of points that he averaged in his rookie season. Along with this, it made it much more difficult for LeBron to carry such a subpar roster to a better record than he did, being only 1 year removed from high school, unlike Carmelo, who attended college. Final thoughts. In conclusion, while it is true that LeBron has Carmelo beat in terms of career averages and totals in points, assists, rebounds, blocks, and steals, there are still a couple of facets of basketball that Carmelo bests one of his closest friends at. Along with this, if Melo had a different mindset during his prime in the league that could have landed him in better spots on teams that could win championships like LeBron had, it is possible that there would be a much better debate as to why Carmelo is better than LeBron. Lastly, at the beginning of their careers, it is very possible that Melo did have a better rookie season than LeBron, and if that had been recognized, it could have launched Melo to the forefront of the best player from the 2003 class, along with propelling the Nuggets to do more to put a championship caliber roster around him. Thank you for watching another UpNext Sports video. Make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel, and join us next time for more basketball content similar to this.